Hey guys, and welcome to part 2 of Lightning Strikes Twice. Here we're going to cover issues 4 and 5 of the storyline. Now to recap part 1, well, you should probably just go check out this video to get caught up. Here in part 2, I'm going to pick up exactly where I left off on part 1. The Flash is stunned at the events that have taken place, and he doesn't have much to go on, so he returns to the training center to work with the new speedsters. He's going to try to get them trained up. And when Mina arrives, she pulls Barry to the side because she has something to explain to him. She's discovered some things about these new speedsters that's very important. Everyone who is a speedster is connected by the Speed Force. Due to all the new speedsters, the Speed Force has been divided, but it wants to be put back together. So when two speedsters are running next to each other, the Speed Force from the slower person transfers into the faster person, killing the slower person and leaving the faster person even more powerful than he was before. Godspeed has obviously figured this one out, and he's taking the speed from everyone that he can. Soon after, Iris stops by to show Barry a report that she just wrote that may contain some interesting news. Dr. Joseph Carver used to be a scientist at Star Labs, but he was fired for experimenting with the Speed Force. He stole a sample of the Speed Force that Star Labs had been keeping on hand, and he found a way to weaponize it. So the Black Hole Gang was literally shooting the Flash with Speed Force beams, and that's why it had such a big effect on him. Flash and Mina take off to Dr. Carver's lab, and Flash confronts him after they get there. Carver admits to creating the gun, but they didn't expect to find out Carver was actually responsible for the Speed Force storm that gave all these people the powers in the first place. Carver's wearing a strange metal suit, and he activates the suit right after he confesses to these crimes. The Speed Force is injected directly into his body, but it's way too much for him to handle, so he essentially turns into a tornado, and he's moving so fast that he's throwing the Flash around. August arrives shortly after this with a few of the advanced speedster trainees, and they all realize that they need to run around the opposite direction of the tornado, and they essentially unravel it. And with Dr. Carver defeated, the Flash realizes that he actually really enjoys having help. Taking a quick break from the main storyline, we're going to check on young Wally West. We see him, and he's viewing an advertisement on his iPad from Star Labs, promising to help the new speedsters learn to control their powers. Now back with the Flash, he and Mina are back at the training facility. Flash is daydreaming about what would actually happen if he could train these speedsters and actually have a life as Barry again. But then suddenly Mina kisses him. This really came as a shock to Barry, and without thinking, he removes his cowl and he says, "Hi, my name is Barry Allen." He and Mina then take a quick vacation together, which makes no sense because there's actually a lot of stuff going on right now in Central City. But returning to the Wally West side of the story, he's now visiting Star Labs. He's here for the new training, and he's second-guessing himself the entire time. Mina notices that he's not really comfortable being there, so she decides to train him privately. And in just a few days, he learns to control all of his new powers. And Wally is actually very relieved because this Speed Force storm gave him a way out. He was in a predicament that we talked about in part 1, and again, if you haven't read that one, you probably should. Or if you haven't watched it, pardon. Mina sends Wally home after one of their lessons, and as she arrives back at Star Labs, she finds that the doors have been blown open. She runs inside and finds a man in a white speedster suit holding two children by their necks. Mina quickly tries to punch him, but she just goes right through him. She sends one of the trainees off to find the Flash, and instructs the rest of them to run against Godspeed while he's trying to steal their speed. Flash and August are racing through the city when the trainee finds them and explains what's going on. But by the time they get back to Star Labs, there are dozens of dead bodies on the ground. There's no Godspeed. Mina's suit is empty on the ground, and she's nowhere to be found. Flash is not convinced that Mina is dead, but something feels eerily familiar. He keeps this thought a secret, though. Until next time.